Hi there, it's Kalyn with a Paper Smooches card tutorial. Today I'm going to be using the Incognito stamp set as well as the Design Motifs stamp set and the glasses dies. And I'm going to be making a Father's Day card using some papers from the Hipster collection from Basic Grey. And this is a little bit of an older collection, but I just really love the distressed papers and the masculine patterns that it has in it. But you could easily use other patterns and papers that just have a little bit of distressing, or you could create your own using inks. But these are just really nice papers and I have a ton of them, so I try to use them when I can. So first I'm just cutting out some of the glasses using a brown cardstock, and I already picked my background paper, which is just a nice off-white, kind of like a linen texture. And then I'm taking this medium brown paper and cut a strip of that, and that's going to go on the left-hand side of my card. So now I'm going to cut down some of this light blue green kind of paper and just match that up with that brown paper strip. And then I'm going to be taking the sticker collection that goes along with this hipster line and cutting down this chevron kind of arrow border sticker and placing that along the edge of that brown piece. So after I cut this out, I'm just going to place it to get an idea of where I think it'll look good. And then I already took one of the bookmarks dies and cut it out of just some scrap white paper to see if I even liked it on this. I wasn't sure, but I kind of wanted to incorporate it and just see if I could make it work. So here I am just sort of testing out how I like it, and then I realized that if I didn't want it to be sticking off the top edge of the card, that I would need to cut down that main blue piece and the brown piece a little bit. So I'm just kind of marking off with a pencil how much room I'm going to need to remove from that so that it lines up where I like it. And then I decided that I would take this kind of hexagon pattern and cut out my little bookmark die from that. So now that I have my little bookmark die all cut out and my glasses placed where I know I'm going to want them, I just decided that I was going to use the sentiment "You Are Spectacular," which is one of my favorites from the set. I just think it's really cute with those glasses. So I'm going to set that aside, and before I stamp that, I'm going to use some chevron stamps from the Design Motifs stamp set. I just thought that it would echo that border sticker nicely, so I took the small little chevron from there and just decided to stamp a couple little accents on the right side of the card at the top. So I'm using my Tide Pool ink from Paper Tray Ink and just inking that little chevron stamp up and stamping it a few times in that upper right corner. So now that I have a few chevrons in the upper right corner, I decided to balance it out. It would look good to have a few in the bottom left corner. And I'm going to have them kind of half hidden by that border sticker, but I think it just adds a nice little bit of dimension and balance. So now that my chevrons are stamped, I'm taking that sentiment that I mentioned earlier and stamping that down using some distress ink from Tim Holtz, and that's in the color Walnut Stain. Decided to add a little button on the top of that bookmark die. So I'm just taking some craft buttons from Paper Tray Ink and picking one that I think is a good size. I didn't want it to be too overwhelming. So then I just took some cream colored embroidery floss and going to thread that button. And now just flipping over the base of my card and using my Tombow Mono Multi Glue and gluing it down to the card base. So now I'm taking one of my very favorite desk accessories, my gold stapler, and just adding a couple staples onto that bottom left corner. And eventually I'm going to do some else around the card too, but for now I'm just stapling those down, and then I'm going to adhere the bookmark and that main panel onto the card front. So now I'm going to use some glue dots, and these are from Xyron. So I'm going to take my button with the thread in it and just stick it to one of those adhesive dots and then stick it right onto that bookmark die. So now just adding a couple more of those staples, and that's going to finish off this Father's Day card. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please check the links below in the description box to access all of the stamps and dies that I used from Paper Smooches, and please subscribe to my channel if you want to catch my latest crafty videos. Thanks so much.